From uncovering the dark secrets of a small town, this episode takes us to uncovering the dark secrets of a filmmaker. So get your popcorn ready and stay tuned. Our featured game today on Throwback Thursday Gaming is Final Cut: Death on the Silver Screen, released in May 2012 by Eipix Entertainment. Although Eipix had experience developing games for other companies, Final Cut is their first full-length HOPA game entry under their own name. I have to admit that from the moment I started playing one of Eipix's games, which I think was Dance Macabre, The Crimson Cabaret, I immediately fell in love with their work. So, playing this game is like going on a romantic date with a major crush. Thus, for this episode, I have to try and be as impartial as I can. So wish me luck. Shh. The game is set, possibly in the 1930s, judging from the Art Deco aesthetic of the scenes, where the player portrays the daughter of the recently deceased movie director Morton Wolfe, who arrives in her father's estate to sort out his affairs. Prior to this, the character's brother mysteriously disappeared. Upon waking up after getting temporarily drugged, the heroine finds a voice message informing her that her father was actually murdered and her brother was being held captive, and the player must look for the missing parts of a projector in exchange for her brother's freedom and life. Now, this projector is not just an ordinary movie projector. It seems that it's powerful enough to drive the viewer insane. Turns out, Morton Wolfe is not just a celebrated movie director. He also had a side gig inventing gadgets for the military, sort of a cross between Steven Spielberg and James Bond's Q.
Sorry about the leg. Skiing?
Judging from the artwork and the overall appearance of the game, one can tell how much heart and soul was poured into the game. The game's detailed journal and map lead you effortlessly through both the story and the estate, and its intricate web of item-based puzzles integrates an impressive number of different locations. There's a large number of unusual locations to explore, based on the concept that you're visiting your father's many old movie sets, which means there are several hog scenes, enough to keep a hog fan like me happy. Along with the hogs, puzzles abound, although I find that many of them are a bit tricky. Either that or I'm just impatient.
Both.
There's also the soundtrack, which is made up of a large number of varied musical themes designed specifically to fit those movie sets. There are only 2 game modes in Final Cut, Regular and Expert, which determines the presence of sparkles, the refill speed of hint skip timers, and whether tasks are highlighted on the map. Or in my books, either you're a regular player or you're the mad one. Along with the large assortment of mini-games, plenty of detective work awaits you outside of the standard hidden object searches. Earn achievements by finding and turning on all the lights, which is not as simple as it sounds, or by collecting photographs of the background scenes and all of your father's cards. Unfortunately, no shape-shifting cursor will help you in this game. There's even an achievement for finishing the game in less than 5 hours. Yet that task might mean pressuring the players to skip through some puzzles if they want to get it, but it would mean losing the chance to get other achievements. Okay, it's Kermode time. While playing the game, the player can draw a lot of conclusions about the heroine. As she was fully trusted by her late father to crack every puzzle he left all over his estate, it's safe to say that she's a very level-headed person who possibly inherited his intelligence. Judging from the dynamics between the main character and her brother Freddie, one can tell that they get along well, and from the looks of it, Freddie respects and relies on his sister. Regarding their relationship with their father, one can tell that up until this recent discovery of a younger half-sister, the heroine and her brother seem to have a close relationship with him and have some sort of respect for his work. They may have had an idyllic childhood, growing up surrounded with movie sets and living in a cool Art Deco house. Of course, the game sequels will tell us whether this outlook has shifted throughout the series. Another interesting character in the game is the gardener, who is noted for his forgetfulness, as he keeps losing his way around the mansion that he's worked in for so long. As the actor looked too young, maybe he's in his early 40s tops, to develop dementia, he might be suffering from an early onstage type. While he's described in the game as a bit eccentric for his love of birds, he is also aware of the experiments involving some of his late master's gadgets. In my assessment, I suspect that his forgetfulness might also be an aftermath of having been subjected to these experiments.
Welcome to the family reunion, my dear sister.
Regarding the main antagonist, the game revealed that it was the half-sister, but for me, no, it's not her. Well, okay, she was hell-bent on destroying the wolf siblings in order to avenge her mother, but I think she's more of a product of the problem, not the cause of it. And props to her for taking time to dress and preen up before executing her revenge on her half-siblings. See? She looked like she's off to a dance hall afterwards. Got your priorities right there, half-sis. Actually, it's their dad who I think is the main antagonist here. Yes, the famous Morton Wolf, director and part-time Tony Stark, with a secret streak of crazy. I mean, what sort of a man would do an experiment on his assistant, whom I suspect was the half-sister's mother, and then think that he can just sweep the incident as well as their affair and their love child under the rug? For what? All because he got scared that his lover will tell of his wife and the press and ruin his reputation. You should have thought about it before hooking up with somebody other than your wife, Morton. Meanwhile, this game mainly emphasizes on one very potent invention, which is the projector. But just imagine how many other gadgets he developed for the military during his time working for them. To be fair, as far as we know in the game, he didn't use animals for his experiments. But whether using it on another human is more justifiable, you be the judge. The bonus game shows a mini-sequel of the story, when the heroine's crazed half-sister left behind a time bomb in one of the movie sets. And once again, instead of calling the police and the bomb squad, the character and her brother set out to find and disarm the bomb themselves, and save the movie sets and their dad's expansive mansion from destruction.
Kaboom!
And once again, the gardener is there, apparently lost, and happens to be in the very room where the bomb is. I mean, are you really sure that this guy is innocent, Miss Wolf?
S-U-S, yours.
Aside from saving themselves from the clutches of a vengeful half-sister, it appears that the Wolf siblings also would have to fend for themselves against some shadowy forces who may have been connected to the military, or, judging from their sinister disposition, possibly an espionage agency. Right, tell me your dad's doing some dodgy business without telling me. If you bought the collector's edition, not only do you get the bonus game, you also get the wallpapers, the soundtrack, behind-the-scenes clips and photos, and if you happen to skip some hidden object scenes and puzzles during the game, you can retake the hogs and puzzle scenes individually. Quite a hefty load of extras if you ask me. All in all, Eipix made a lot of effort to make the collector's edition worth having. Despite a few mediocre and, in some characters, cheesy voice acting and lines, it's a HOPA game that I would happily rate as worthy of being classed as a classic. So that wraps up our Throwback Thursday gaming, so be sure to be on the lookout when we...
Excuse me, no talking during the movie.
Hi. Once again, this is a HOPA gamer and